All right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another episode, episode 10. Made it to the double digits. We did not get shut down yet. Feeling really good about it. We have another special guest with us today. We have he's been around for a while. Me and him go way back, like He-Man and Battle Cats, back to the early 2000s. Notre Dame and Cleveland diehard, so much love from there. Rocky River alumni, another girl dad like us. Former child model, D1 mascot. If he shaved his face, he might look like Andy Dalton and be able to rock that out and out of town. He's not your neighborhood Spider-Man, but he's always carrying a hammer. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Jimmy Myers from Union Home Mortgage.
Awesome.
Jimmy.
Happy to be here.
My man. And he's got the Cleveland background.
Yeah, I had to change that up. Here's my little Thor figure. Oh, you can't see it.
There he is.
There it is.
Big fan. Yeah, so Thor, right? Is he always been your all-time favorite Marvel guy?
No, he wasn't at first. My original favorite was Wolverine, which I think almost everybody can relate to. I mean, he's probably one of the number one fan favorites. And then it was just with our charity, the guy who had previously dressed up as Thor moved out of town, and honestly, he was like too big. By the name of Chris Hughes, awesome guy, and so he actually bought a custom-made Hulk costume, and he was a better fit for the Hulk. Like I'm talking, this dude's like 6'5", over 300 pounds. Like it was good for the Hulk. So then that Thor costume came available, and I had the beard. They're like, "Here, throw this on," and it just happened to fit, right?
The rest
like
is
the
history.
Helmet fit, everything fit, and the rest is history. And and then the movie started coming out, and everybody's like, "Okay, you're Thor." So, the hammer, the mantle, or the hammer of Thor was passed to me.
So this all went down before the movie started coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It was like perfect timing. So we founded our charity group, which is called Superheroes to Kids in Ohio, in 2010, the summer of 2010. So it was August of 2010. We made our first visit at the Cleveland Clinic. So it was myself, Brian Chulik, my former 8th grade teacher, and Scott Smith, another friend. So the three of us did a visit to the Cleveland Clinic Children's Hospital dressed as superheroes. And my original costume was Spider-Man. But at the time I was busting out of that Spider-Man costume, and it was perfect for the day. But we got there and it was like crazy because we didn't contact anybody. We just thought we were making a visit to the clinic, the children's hospital, but there was like crazy media there. Like the clinic had contacted like all local media outlets, news stations, etc. So there was a bunch of cameras, newspapers, and stuff there, and so it just got a lot of attention. And it happened to be that same summer they were filming the first Avengers movie in Cleveland. So it just got like a lot of attention, notoriety. And then the funny thing about it was the three of us, who founded the group, were all background extras in the Avengers movie as well. So we got to meet a lot of guys on set, other people like local to Cleveland, Ohio, or around the neighboring suburbs that were, one, like huge Marvel fans, two, had like a costume or something that they could join up and start making these appearances with us. So that's just kind of how it all came about.
That's so cool, man. So are you guys still you guys do hospital visits, and what else do you do? Like birthdays, or do you do anything else?
Yeah. So good question. We started kind of small. We were doing like birthdays and stuff, but then that just kind of took off. And then once we became an official 501c3 nonprofit organization, we started trying to gear more towards like partnering with other nonprofit organizations such as like Jeremy Cares, which is another great local organization to help benefit children's cancer. Prayers from Maria, which is, if you've ever been to Cleveland, the sunflower fields on the highway, if you've ever seen those. So we partner with other organizations, and the nonprofit status, the 501c3, kind of helps, with the legitimacy of the organization. And so we stopped doing birthday parties just because that was like, it was too much, to be honest. It was every day, multiple times a day, people were asking for birthday appearances. And so we kind of just tried to focus on children's hospitals, like the Ronald McDonald House. We sponsor a room down there every year, which is like where our big budget goes to. It's like $5,000 a year. And so that way, what the Ronald McDonald House does is allows families who are seeking treatment for their kids to stay there free of cost. You know, they don't have to worry about traveling or covering hotel costs while their kids are getting treatment, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
we sponsor a room down there so that way the whole family can stay for free. You know, meals, room and board, everything's covered. And they're a big partner of ours. We also we do like a golf outing every year to help raise funds. We're doing a 5K superhero run this year. So there's a lot going on. We actually just started being able to go back into hospitals after, you know, the pandemic. So that just started very recently. So we were kind of on shutdown for a couple of years there, obviously with people with weakened immune. So it was kind of funny though, because at the same time during the pandemic, that's when, you know, Zoom got real big, right?
Yeah.
So it was kind of perfect the way it all evolved, because then kids were able to request, like kids in hospitals were able to like log into our Facebook page or our website. Facebook's usually the easiest way to get a hold of us, but just because there's somebody always monitoring that, they were able to request like specific, like, hey, who's your favorite superhero? Oh, it's Thor, or it's Superman, or it's Spider-Man, or it's a Disney princess, right? And they could request a special appearance from their favorite character. So we were able to do Zoom meetings like we're doing right now, you know, one-on-one or like a FaceTime with that family or that kid in the hospital. And so, you know, or we would have sometimes large group Zoom meetings where we do like a movie night, right? We used to host movie nights once a month at the Ronald McDonald House, but since we couldn't do them in person, we would stream it for free and would have like a group watch party with the kids while some of us were in character. So it was fun.
Dude, that's great. I mean, and yeah, it sounds like it was a struggle at first, probably to adjust, right, and to still
Yeah,
get the kids what they wanted. But I mean, that's still incredible, man. And you've been doing that for, you said it was 2010, right?
yeah, 2010.
Man, it's flown by, and I forgot about you being extra in that Avengers movie.
Yeah, my 5 seconds of fame.
Your 5 seconds of fame. Stop it. You gotta see.
Oh.
I gotta show you. You know, speaking of the baby model. Hold on. I pulled this picture off your IG. It's not really a baby, but you're a stud. Let's see. My camera will pick it up. Oh, it won't pick it up.
You and your blurred backgrounds, man. Oh,
Look at this guy.
Is that the child model right there?
Yes, a child model.
Oh my goodness.
Dude,
I want to buy that sweater right now.
the sweater. Yeah, the collar out. He was ahead of his time.
I gotta grow the throwback, man.
Oh yeah, it was pretty legit. You got a pretty big fro.
I did that in college, sophomore year. I didn't cut my hair all year just to see what would happen, and the fro came back.
Oh, speaking of college, so like Mr. D1 mascot.
Freddie Falcon in the flesh.
Yeah. He was the Bowling Green Falcon. So you're out there doing cartwheels
That's
and
awesome.
flips.
I couldn't do a flip, but I was doing cartwheels.
I mean, you were super athletic. You probably could have pulled it off.
No, not with that.
Not with the head?
That head was oversized head. It was just too big. I tried doing a cartwheel one time and the head almost flew off. So we had to. So it was funny because it was like a hockey helmet underneath, right? And the chin strap would always pop off. So I had to go get my own chin strap, kind of like football. But yeah, this was a hockey helmet underneath that they built the mascot head onto. But yeah,
You did football and what else? Any other sports?
It was everything.
It was everything?
Yeah, because originally they just said it was like going to be men's, women's basketball, volleyball, football games, and hockey, right? But you know, now it's everything. Like we go to everything. We didn't want to limit ourselves just to, you know, those 4 or 5 sports, right? There were so many events on campus, like community events, like out in the community, campus events, you know, just going to like the rec center doing retirement parties on campus, like birthday parties, special appearances. There was just so many requests throughout the day in the week. So it was just, even the gymnastics team, like our gymnastics team was awesome, and they loved us because not a lot of people would show up at their matches or their meets. But then when we would walk in, they would literally just go crazy, and there was a ton of little kids there. So it was a lot of fun. Hockey games were a blast. My first football game, I almost passed out though. I had to hide in a tent because it was like 90 degrees outside, and I was wearing that suit. So luckily, I had one of those like water packs, like a camel pack underneath the suit. So I was drinking water, trying to stay hydrated, but it was brutal.
Way to adapt.
It was a blast. It was the most fun I had at college.
Was it always just you? Was it just the one mascot, or did they have multiples to kind of help relieve?
Yeah, good question. There's 4. So the tradition was 4 because there's a guy and girl mascot. There's Freddie and Frida Falcon at BGSU.
Frida?
They were brother and sister, right? So Frida is Freddie's little sister, and they would just go to everything together, and it was a blast. So there was 2 guys and 2 girls, and now they just had like every year they do. So the tradition is you do it for 1 year. You start at the end of, when graduation happens, commencement, and then you go throughout the summer, and then, until commencement when they pick like the new birds or the new mascots. And every year we do an alumni reception up there. We just had it like this past weekend. So it's pretty cool. But now they have 6, which I guess is crazy. They have 6 members because the demand, and there's so many events going on at all times. So this way you're able to kind of divide and conquer, right? So the requests were coming left and right. And I guess there were just so many different requests. So they'd have, if one mascot's at like a sporting event, they could have another one at a community event, or at least a pair of Freddie and Frida's at different events going on at different times. So,
well, and BG's blown up, right? Since you were there. They're a lot bigger.
The whole mascot thing is wild though, man. Because like the reason I asked that is because I know like at Arrowhead on game day for the Chiefs, Casey Wolf is their mascot.
Yep.
And there's 3 there on game day just so they could get enough coverage. But the way they do it with the radios and all the coordination is you will never be able to see any 2 of them, obviously, at the exact same time, the way they work around the stadium during pregame and during the game and stuff, and all their visits. Like there's 3 doing it at all times, but you will never see more than 1 with the way they're able to, the way they're able to coordinate all of it. It's pretty nice.
I know.
He was just looking for a way to slip in the Chiefs. And
no. I used to want to be a mascot, dude. When I was
Did you really?
Yeah, Casey Wolf would come to our elementary schools and like give a presentation in our gym, and it happened every year. I don't know how or why, but like I was obsessed that I wanted to be like the Panther at my high school. Like I wanted to be a mascot, but I played sports, and like they never gave me a chance to do it. There was always somebody else doing it. Like I wanted to do that. I think it'd be a blast, man.
Well, it was. I mean, honestly, it was the most fun. So that's why, after playing sports in high school and getting up to college, I was like, I tried to do rugby, but after getting too many concussions playing football in high school, they told me I shouldn't play football anymore.
Yeah.
So then I go out for the rugby team. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, no helmet. You don't need it. You're fine.
Right? After 2 weeks of that, I realized that probably wasn't a good idea. So, but it was also that freshman year where they unveiled like the new mascot costumes, where they were like the big, larger than life cartoon style characters, which were awesome. And I remember saying it when they first unveiled them at that football game, was like, I want to do that. And then the opportunity just kind of presented itself my junior year. And that's when I auditioned and tried out, and luckily got the job. So it was sweet.
That's pretty awesome. Cool.
So is that kind of what started? I feel like that's kind of what started the whole superheroes for kids thing. Like, doing the mascot thing. It feels like a great transition, and like to kind of keep that kind of thing going. You saw how other people react to a mascot or somebody in costume like that, and then kind of rolled into what you're doing now.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, and Charlie can attest to this. I was no stranger to wearing costumes in high school. So, any holiday or any excuse, basically.
Wait. You're not setting it up right. This dude is in the city parades. Like, St. Patrick's Day, he is like the biggest leprechaun that you will ever see.
That's awesome.
And he's strutting down the street. He's on a float. Like he's a VIP. And then so
yeah,
he did that in high school though.
Yeah, my uncle had something to do with that one though, but he works for the county and he's a big time, he's been voted Irishman of the Year a couple of times, and actually this year in fact, but
that's a big deal in Cleveland.
Yeah, so they call it. Yeah, so it was fun. So that's kind of where it just, he asked me to march with him a couple of times, and that's when I busted out the green suit. So yeah, it was a perfect transition from being the BG mascot to then starting the Superheroes to Kids organization. I even applied after college to be slider for the Cleveland Indians, but that was a weird situation. Like that application must have just got lost in the mail or something. But
oh well, that's too bad, man. I would have loved to see you running the bases with everybody.
Yeah,
that would be cool
too.
So after college, and like we all did the bartending thing
Yep.
at some point or another, right? And then you eventually became bar manager of Barley House, is that right?
GM, actually, yeah.
The GM. So
Yeah.
Shorts, Barley House is it still is, right? Because it's still around.
There.
Pretty sweet bar, like any and everybody would go there. Athletes, famous people, whoever.
Downtown Cleveland.
Yeah. Bottle service, the whole nine.
Ooh, got a VIP section.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. So I remember randomly, it might have been around the time when they were filming. It was because it was mid 2000s, but Downey Jr. was there in a VIP section, and
yeah, they all
Jeremy Piven was there one time. So, hey, did you got any what's your favorite? Who's the favorite person you met working there?
Oh man, I'm gonna say this without trying to get upset. The best and my favorite person that I ever had the opportunity to meet down there was Chadwick Boseman.
Oh yeah,
he was filming Draft Day down there and came in with a bunch of the Browns players who I, at the time, was pretty tight with. A few of them, and he had just came off like his Jackie Robinson movie, which I love that movie. And, he's hanging out in VIP, just kind of chilling, doing his own thing. And I'm like, he had his hair cut different or style for the movie, right? And I'm like, that dude looks so familiar. I swear, I was like, but I know he's not a Browns player. Cause like as you guys do probably as well, you keep up with the team and, you can probably recognize most of the guys outside of uniform, right? It's not just seeing them in uniform. So
right.
I'm the GM, so I'm walking up in the VIP section, like taking care of the guys, talking to them, and they're like, they're like, yeah, you got to meet Chad, and I got to meet him, and he was just such a humble, down to earth, like just awesome dude, to the point where, I gave him my business card at the time and exchanged numbers with him, and he came in a couple days that week when he was like wasn't shooting, and he's like, hey, do you mind if I come in and just chill, like grab dinner, grab whatever? And I'm like, man, you can do whatever you want. So he came in like a couple times over the next few weeks, and we just got to sit down and talk and chat, and yeah, just amazing really guy. Cool. And I had absolutely at the time, honestly no idea where his career would have taken him to, and then with the superheroes thing, for him to become like, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, that was just incredible to see that as well. And yeah, he was by far my favorite. I got to meet, him, and the one person I still keep in touch with today is Joe Russo from Avengers Endgame. Like they were filming Captain America Winter Soldier in Cleveland, and it was pretty funny. They came in and we had a couple cast and crew parties for them, and that's also when they were opening Town Hall, the same owners own Town Hall on West 25th. So they had just opened that. And so when I wasn't working at Barley, I was helping out at Town Hall, and that's how I got to meet like Russo, the Russo brothers, and all those guys.
So that's cool. I've seen the pictures you got up on like IG and everything, like all the athletes, musicians, actors. That had to be really cool. But then, then we all have to grow up and get into the mortgage business, right?
I was gonna say, what did he start slinging loans over here?
He started slinging loans instead of bottles.
Well, that's exactly. I mean, the funny thing is that's how it happened. I met a bunch of guys down at Quicken Loans that would come in doing bottle service VIP, and I would, I was I think 30 at the time, and these kids were like 21, 22, and they would come in once a month, spend their commission checks on bottle service, and I'm like, what are these kids doing or guys doing, whatever, and they're like, Quicken Loans, come. Got to meet some of like the higher ups. They got me an interview, and long story short, here we are 9 years later.
9 years later. So you are now you worked for the mothership at one point. Yeah, Rocket for a little while, right?
Yeah.
And then now
you're with Rocket.
you're with UHM, right? But this is like this is your second time around with them.
Yeah, so I got recruited by Union Home Mortgage back in 2015 to help them launch their consumer direct division because they wanted to open a consumer direct platform. And, with my background and knowledge with Rocket Mortgage, Quicken Loans at the time, they recruited a bunch of us. So I went over there and helped them launch their consumer direct division. And I think that's when you originally came in when you were in town, Charlie, and, met with a bunch of guys. And
oh, yeah. It was Jeremy.
Bowling. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, they're all great people. I mean, and like Bill Cosgrove I've met him in the past. He's a great leader. I mean, it shows like they've been around. You guys have been around for quite a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Be like a top 15 lender like every year, something like that. I mean, always, but it's at least around like outside of Ohio, it's kind of quiet, but you're still there. Like you're crushing it. So second time around now, after you tried some other things with Gold Star, was it?
Yep, it was a Gold Star for a while.
So what brings you back? What is it about UHM that brings you back again?
Yeah, after doing consumer direct for a couple of years, I had good success with that. And don't get me wrong, when I was there, President's Club banker those 2 years. But as you grow and kind of evolve in the industry, I was realizing like the way to transition. I wanted to transition and switch to retail. For a little more longevity. I was at the time, the only self-generated purchase guy. I was the only one doing purchase deals, and Jeremy was going to help me with that. But once we were built off of being like mostly a refi shop. But after doing so many refis, I was like, well, why can't I do a purchase? So then learned how to do a purchase deal, and that was part of the reason why I left Quicken at Rocket at the time, because they wouldn't let us do purchases, and we would get all these referrals coming in, and I would have to pass it off to a purchase banker. So, that was a little frustrating. We're all here you got to make a living, right? So I'd have to basically give somebody else a deal,
right?
And it wasn't always reciprocated. So, but then at UHM, I was able to do my own purchase and refis, and that just once I built that, it was like, all right, what's the next step? And that's when I wanted to switch to retail. So at the time, the retail position, without getting too much detail, there was just like a little discrepancy on how that would handle. And then some of the powers that be didn't really, I guess you could say, want me leaving consumer direct at the time. So the only way for me to get any experience in retail was I had to look elsewhere outside UHM. So did that. I was a Gold Star for 4.5 years. Really loved it, and then tried the broker channel for a little bit, and for about 6 months. And that really, I learned a lot, but we didn't have operations in place, so that wasn't really for me. So then UHM was always there. They were always kind of knocking on the door or calling or checking in from time to time. And then just the opportunity presented itself, and it was like kind of right place, right time. Really loved the people. They're only growing. I'm licensed for South Carolina, Florida, and Ohio. Majority of my business coming from Ohio, and UHM's in our backyard, right? They became our huge sponsor with like the Cleveland Guardians, formerly the Indians. They're big with the Cavaliers, the Browns, everything. We have Bernie Kosar as one of our national spokesperson people.
Ooh, nice. That's right.
Yeah, so they were just always like kind of blowing up, and being a Cleveland guy myself, when they reached back out again to kind of recruit me, I got to speak with Bill Cosgrove, our CEO, and I got to speak with Al, our president, and even our national sales managers. And they were just, the fact that none of those guys had changed positions, they're all still there or in a higher position. It was nice to come back and everybody that I used to work with was still there. And that was just kind of the biggest testament to me. It was like, all right, this is a good company. They have good people. And that's honestly our CEO's like biggest philosophy. He's like, I can teach anybody to do sales. He's like, but if you're not a good person at heart, a good partner as they call it, he's like, I don't want you working for me. So
I like that.
I like it too.
Yeah, I like that a lot, actually. Everybody always wants, like, my dad had done recruiting for years for different mortgage companies. And, between him and other people, you always see they tend to go chase some of those high producing guys. But then once they get them in the door, they realize that A, they're not a team player, or B, they just have a bad attitude overall, but they're just about making money.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, that's huge. I mean, that's huge for a culture of a company and success, right? So that's pretty awesome.
So that was the big thing that kind of brought me back. Just coming back to that culture, and not only that, like the coaching, and there's so much more, after being like a teams guy my whole life and playing on teams, like, I feel like I'm not at my peak yet. I feel like there's always room to grow and evolve and become better at it and kind of own your craft, right? And, the fact that UHM offers like coaching from some of their top President's Club bankers who have been doing it for 20, 30 years, they're now helping other guys who are newer in the industry, or like myself, going on year 9, but only year 5 of doing retail, right? So how to really grow my own business and get to that next level. So like that alone was like enough reason for me to come back.
Right on. That's great. I mean, and also, you have pretty sweet AMC options like ourselves. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Throwing that out there. All right, let's see. Let's hit you with our rapid rush requests.
Ooh, rapid rush request. Quick hitters of the day. Blue or green dot on the text messages. You an Android or an iPhone guy? iPhone. Sorry, Charlie.
Boo. I'm always outnumbered every freaking time. All right. Favorite all-time Marvel movie? I think I know, but
all time.
Like, you're just gonna sit on the couch on a Saturday with your kid and just, well, maybe not with the kid.
Pick one out of all of them. But this is an unfair question.
I gotta get them. These are rapid rush requests, and
I'm gonna say the first Avengers just because I'm in it.
You're biased. That's cool.
Yeah, there we go. Can we do a sub follow-up question, like favorite superhero of all time?
So I originally, from growing up was always like Superman, right? True and true, the boy in blue. But right now I think Thor is probably, I got him all over you can't see it, but I got him all over my office. So like that's kind of like, it's funny, I still have my entire Ninja Turtle collection from when we were kids. But like when it comes to like Marvel, like I collect all like Thor stuff now. So
are you the guy that leaves them in the box? Like, you got them all up on the shelves and stuff?
And graded.
And graded.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Kids college fund.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah. Okay. Which is a better party in Cleveland? Is it St. Patty's Day or Christmas in July?
Oh, St. Patty's Day, hands down.
All right. So who's the next Cleveland sports team to win a championship?
Right now, I have to say maybe the Cavs again.
Yeah.
Or I mean, just that they're playing. I just love seeing it, to be honest.
They're playing lights out.
They're playing really well right now. So, I know they already won one. It would have been crazy to see that year 2016. I still can't believe it. After the Cavs come back from being down 3-1, and then Indians go up 3-1, and then blow that to the Cubs.
Yeah, that was a rough year.
Yeah, so I don't know. I really would have loved to see the Indians, now the Guardians, win a championship, or the Browns. But I just feel like the Browns.
That's a longer play.
Yeah, unfortunately, like, back when we had Baker his first couple of years, I really thought there was an opportunity there with the talent that we had on the team. And I guess that's the most frustrating part is there's just so much talent on that team. They just can't seem to come together as a team to really put the wins where they need to be. So many close games, comes down to the fourth quarter, lose by a touchdown or 3 points or whatever, turnovers, etc. It's just really frustrating. But as a team, the Cavs right now, I think, are playing some of the best basketball I've seen in a long time. And if they're going to win, if there's going to be another team in Cleveland to win, I think it'll be them.
I'll be the parade time. We're gonna get there.
Yeah,
we're gonna get it.
Parades are fun, man. The parades are fun.
Yeah, we know you understand. You get the parades.
Yeah, we get it.
All right, last one, and then we'll let you go. So with St. Patrick's Day around the corner, is it the best room is it Slyman still, or someone take it? Is someone else going to take it? I've heard like Danny's Deli is really good.
I want to say, I don't know anything about Danny's, but Joe's Deli,
Deli?
in River, which has probably one of the best. I mean, if you want and Joe's is a good sandwich, but Slyman's, you could eat that Reuben for a whole week and probably wouldn't be able to finish it.
They have the light version, right?
Yeah.
Just and you're still eating that for days.
It's literally like a pound of corned beef on that thing. It's wild. I mean,
it's glorious.
You can make, like I said, you can make 4 or 5 sandwiches out of that.
I mean, after having, a couple Guinness, maybe a couple Black and Tans, whatever, it goes down really nicely. But
couple pints.
Yeah. You need a couple. You need like a nap.
Just a few pints. Just a few
pints. All right, man. Well, that's all we got for you. We really appreciate the time, all the info. Keep doing all your awesome stuff with your superheroes.
Yeah, man.
It's really awesome. You got that going, and it's still going strong.
Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, we're excited. Like I said, we're doing our first 5K run this year, and all the proceeds, all the money that we raise, everything goes to benefit, those families and children facing adversity in some way. So it's a fun organization. I'm just, happy and humbled to be a part of it. And the fact that I could say I was a founder of the group, and it's, with me, our family growing itself, and with the pandemic, I had to take a step back, but it's still there, and it's great. We're up to like 100 members now, and we're like the featured charity at the Comic-Con every year, which is now called Fan Expo. But it's awesome. Like it's really, really cool to see the growth and how far we've come in such a short / almost, we're going on year 13, but
still
yeah,
cool,
thank
man.
you.
No, it's awesome, man. It's super cool stuff. I was happy to hear about it.
Yeah, check it out.
All right, well, I think that's a wrap for us today, buddy.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, we hope everybody enjoyed this episode of Value Nation and another great industry guest. Please make sure to go ahead and subscribe on all the social media channels, and turn on those little notifications. Hit that little bell icon. Remember, you can find us on Facebook, IG, TikTok, YouTube to see our outfits of the day, Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Peace.
Peace.